Hello, welcome to Jank Job. This is you're gonna watch me play Netrunner and make a lot of mistakes. Play some janky stuff. Now, I'd like to just tell you that first of all, my name is a complete lie. I don't think this is jank at all. So this is a list that did pretty well in a Philadelphia store championship. We'll go ahead and have that link in the description. And it is Architects of Tomorrow, and I have never played this identity. So let's not do this deck justice at all. So I didn't like that hand, and was too busy starting this video to give you important reasons why I mulligan, so I'm sorry. Terrible player. But we did pull into a hedge fund. We are up against Kit, so double icing is going to be a little important. Now, from what I understand, the sheer economic flexibility you get with this is pretty impressive. So, let's go draw into another option. That's great. Hedge fund. And let's go ahead and pop Eli on R&D. So if we have to res Eli, we're not going to get to use the ability this turn, which is a little unfortunate. But it is also possible that Kit just spends some time setting up, which is what we're seeing. Now, it'll be good to keep in mind. So now as I can get some more ice down. If we do Eli, the other one, can pop up an Eli. And I'm actually into that, because that means we can put Eli on HQ. So we have double Eli on our major centrals. We can go ahead and put our Fairchild 3.0 on the new remote, which is a bit of a pain. And we'll go ahead and put a Jeeves in there. And we'll turn on... We'll see what we do with the discount. Hopefully they just don't go run the remote immediately. All right, and they are just going to start magnating up, so they are readying for the long game. Now we need some more card draw. So we're actually not going to go ahead and res Jeeves this turn. We're going to go plop Jackson down, pop him up, draw, and see what we can do. Fairchild 1.0 is a great trigger for the ability. So we're going to go ahead and put probably our campaigns and stuff behind this, because eventually you'll just be able to easy trigger of our ability. We're never going to target it for our ability, but very good option for getting it to fire off. Over here on Kit's side, we are trying to play underneath 10 credits to avoid Beth giving the draw. I think it's a little unrealistic for us to play under the 5 necessary to keep the credit away right now. Kit hasn't loaded up her personal workshop, so that's not really paying off for her yet. Okay, so we do have an R&D interface down on the personal workshop, so that server is directly being threatened. All right, we're going to go ahead and start the turn. We do have an ABT. We don't really have a server to stick it in, unfortunately. So we're actually gonna money up. And what this does is it at least puts a lot of pressure to run one of these servers. Hoping sooner than later we're gonna start getting to fire off our ability. Hopefully we can pull into a biotic soon. Scoring a beta test feels very good with a Jackson on the table, because you can almost fire that ability with impunity. We have Dinosaurs coming down, so we're likely to see a Code Gate. Oh, no. No worries. Sometimes that happens. And you know I can't spell. That's alright. Little known fact, you don't have to be literate to know how to play Netrunner. Just look at the cards. Just, think about what nice things it could probably do. Like, I don't know what Jeeves actually says, but it looks like a nice butler. So I just assume it gives me a click. Alright, apologies for a dog in there. So Dinosaurs is going on the workshop, so it's going to tick down that way. It's probably good, making use of what you have. Alright, so this turn, I don't know if we're even going to trigger Jeeves. We might just... No, let's be reckless. So we're going to try something that doesn't feel particularly good. We're going to end up with 3 servers. We're pretty much going to have our Jeeves server, our Jackson or Econ server, and you know what, maybe we're going to have a little scoring server going on. So we're actually going to go ahead and put an Ichi down here. We're going to have a 1.0 actually on this server as well. And then we're going to go ahead and stick the beta test in this server, get an extra click, and we're actually going to use that extra click to install the launch campaign out of here. This diluted HQ too much, so that's a mistake on my part. And, you know, it's not great to make mistakes and announce them as you're doing them, but, you know, every little bit helps. So, if Kit doesn't challenge this, we're going to get a very nice one fire enough. Oh, so we do have a legwork, so we are going to lose that GFI, which is a little unfortunate. But we can at least turn Eli on and get some value out of this. Oh, yeah, Kit's just going to break it with Gordian. So 4 credits to break, so pretty comparable to Corroder. If you're fresh, Corroder used to be a breaker that everyone played instead of Paperclip. And Corroder still gets some use. Alright, so that is going through. Jinteki did remember to fire this time, so that's polite of him. We know they're going to tunnel into R&D eventually. And, you know, let's just go ahead and get that value online. We are losing this GFI, which is a little sad, but we'll live. So there goes our entire hand. Alright, start of turn, we're going to go ahead and turn on our campaign. Hopefully you don't put a new agenda. Great. So we are going to go ahead and score out the beta test, and we are going to boldly fire, I think. Well, let's see. We have 6 pieces of ice accounted for out of 17. You know, we have Jackson on the table. This is the kind of reckless play that makes this game fun. Let's go. And, you know, that's life. That happens. That's okay. You know, now, what can we make of this? We're going to get a little run. Yeah, let's go ahead. All right, so now they have likely no incentive to run HQ. They have information on R&D. So I'm expecting... No, they could money up and then do an R&D dig. We need to start getting ice on R&D again. Alright, so they are running archives because they think that they had some goodies there. But instead they are going to see subliminals there, so we're going to get some pressure on them to keep on running. Not bothering our launch campaign, which is good. They probably won't bother it last turn because there'll just be 2 credits on it. And normally if runners are going to trash a launch campaign, they'll do it as soon as it's rezzed. Because otherwise its value builds up very quickly. Next turn, that R&D interface is probably dropping down, and R&D is getting threatened. So this turn, there's a good chance we're just going to go ahead and grab a whole bunch of Jackson clicks. Yeah, 1. 3.0 is pretty much exactly what we were looking for. Let's go ahead and draw again. And I don't want to draw into 7 and then have to drop something. So we're actually just going to go ahead and finish off our turn, placing Fairchild 3.0 on R&D. Now the big question is, if they run R&D, do we res Fairchild on its own or wait for the value to pay off? And that's a good question. In a perfect world, hopefully they'll just run something else first. But I'm not seeing them be very concerned about any of our other tools. This idea is actually very interesting in how it turns off the appeal of running, because chances are the ice is going to be a Bioroid, and you are essentially giving the Corp 4 credits for ice reses. So, my apologies. So what I notice is a lot of runners seem to wait until they know they can get some value out of the run before they commit to it. That being said, I think this is going to be the value turn they're looking for. We could see them run first click, break with Gordian, and then click through Eli. We know Gordian's not sitting on a Dinosaurus, so we'll have to see what ends up on Dinosaurus. Maybe their Barrier Breaker, maybe another Code Gate. I'm looking forward to seeing Kit when Inversificator releases, which is at some point in the Red Sand cycle. We have another R&D interface coming down on Personal Workshop, so they are really threatening R&D. So we are getting to the point where we would like... We really want something cheap on here. Another 1.0 would be great. Our last 1.0. Alright, so here is the run. If we res this now, they can't get in. Otherwise, we have to... I think we have to res this. Yeah. And we'll get some other value out of this instead. Because this is something they absolutely want to break. And it is going to cost 3... It's going to cost a total of 6. Because these are not subroutines you want to fire. Are they thinking about that last subroutine firing? They may just want that last one to fire. Oh no, they got all of it. Alright, so we will go on through. We should look at the timing structure and, see if that's a... Are we able to go ahead and trigger that ability as that happens? So that'd be a good thing to keep in mind. Thank you. Well, this person cleared it up. And we are actually going to go ahead and flip on... I think we just want to flip that one on. Yeah. So we are going to go ahead and credit. We were at 4. Okay. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, start of turn. We get some money. We do have Vitruvius hanging out. And... we can't do install. So what we're actually going to do, we are going to credit, and we're going to go ahead and use our Jeeves click to stick an Adonis in this server. And we've got a pretty good situation here. Because if they run it, we turn off Fairchild 1.0 and an Ichi for 1 credit. So, and we would still have enough to turn on the Adonis. If they don't, they don't. We're at the point where they could start tunneling R&D if they want to. Because it's 6 credits a run and 2 clicks at the moment for them to get in. Which is a pretty good value proposition. Maybe not right now. They probably want to wait for their second interface before they can go hog wild. Ooh, they are test running. Well, that improves their math on R&D. We don't see a lot of Lady at the moment, just because it's on the MWL. And Shaper is not in a super hot position at the moment. And this is our classic counter to Eli. And this is actually a very old matchup. We haven't seen Lady versus Eli in quite a while, since both of them are hanging out on the MWL. So, ooh, they are stim hacking, likely in R&D, so they can throw off their interface. Do all that business. Here, we're probably just going to use our ability to go ahead and res Fairchild 1.0. That's not a lot of value, but it's some value. Actually, no, we want this to be as mysterious as... So we're just going to go ahead and flip on the Jackson one. So they did break everything. We're going to go ahead and raise that for free. Oh, we should have done Jackson. What were we saying? We were just talking about this. Alright, so they could actually do Eli, but we're likely to see Lady over here at work because Lady breaks 2 with their counters. So it's expected they got at least 1. We're in a bit of a tough spot here. They did take a brain, which is something. They did run, so we're not getting our subliminal messaging yet. We do need a turn where they don't run. If they do that, we get to fast advance Vitruvius out. They can't threaten us with a clot at the moment, although they don't really have the memory to spare. So I think we are looking and crossing our fingers for a turn where they do not run. We are going to go ahead and turn on Adonis. Look at what we're doing with our life. We can just biotic out if we want to. Right. We can install the Vitruvius. Yeah, that actually a pretty okay proposition, and I am up for it. Alright, so sure enough, we are going to go ahead and install the Vitruvius. Yeah. We are going to go ahead and biotic. I'm going to go ahead and shipment right here. And because that is 3 clicks in a row, we are getting our Jeeves thing. We are going to go ahead and advance. We are going to score. And then we're going to go ahead and take a nice little credit. Now, very possible they can easily dive into R&D again this turn. And they likely will. A Lady was test runned out. That's where Lady went. They have every reason to just charge up and hit R&D. But they can't really this turn. I mean, they could always plop Lady down again, but Fairchild 3.0 is just too financially intimidating at the moment. Is going on the workshop, though. I'll miss workshop when it rotates for sure. And it looks like we might have a good turn where they did not run. Okay, they did not run, so that is great. So we are going to go ahead. We are going to grab some little messaging, and hopefully... Well, we didn't fall into agenda. That's okay. We are going to go... Ooh. Yeah, let's do it. So let's do it in Jackson. Let's subliminal. Throw out an ELP. Unfortunately, we're not triggering Jackson. Not Jackson. We're not triggering Jeeves this turn, which is a little unfortunate, but we can't really squeeze out this GFI anyway. Do we want to play this? I think we want Jackson a little more. And sure enough, there's our big value. Oh, no, not big value, because Gordian is their breaker of choice. That's just another 3 credit tax. I'm not thrilled about that. Doesn't look bad on that server, though. Let's actually go ahead and do that. Throw that in server 3. Our hand is 1 too large. Let's get cheeky. Shaper rarely plays Rumor Mill. And right now, Kit does not have a strong incentive to run archives. So it's actually a pretty safe place for that GFI to hang out for a while. And this definitely puts us in the territory of, if they run, we are going to go ahead and res that Fairchild for free. Not for free, for 2 credits, which is still fantastic. A lot more value than you would expect. So sure enough, they are counting down on Lady. Lady has a high enough strength that I don't think we're going to see it sitting on the Dinosaurus. Because that's a real roundabout way to save 1 credit on every Eli run. And hopefully we see another no run turn. Every time that no run turn happens, it's a chance for us to pull into one of our 3-2s and just fast advance it out. Being said, we're beginning to run out of the options of fast advance. Alright, sure enough, they just magnum up. So this is a strong broadcast that they're getting ready to hit R&D, especially with the tools they have available. Go ahead and start our turn off. We are going to add subliminal. Alright, now here's a turn. We can pull off our little bonus with a subliminal hedge fund and then enhanced login, which is probably what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we have 2 more clicks. I think there's a good chance we just want to grab this. See if we can throw something else on R&D. These are both strength 5, so it's not... It's a single click. It's not doing anything. It needs to be on a server that doesn't have a code gate already, which actually makes this option on HQ pretty appealing. Now, we are not dissuading the R&D runs enough. There are 13 credits. Pretty sure it's going to happen this turn, and it could scoop up game here. Because we are also waiting on R&D to give us goodies. We do need... What just dropped? All right, Lady just came off of the personal workshop. Dinosaurs might just not come into play this game. That is very possible. All right, this is probably game. This is not a good thing for us. All right, so they did break everything. They're going to access 10 billion cards. So what do we want to res? Honestly, I mean, they'll probably... If we somehow survive, we want this remote to be up and running ASAP. So I think that's what we're running. And then it's going to be a Peasley 1 credit to bust through Eli. Which is pretty astounding. This deck probably wants to be running Fairchild itself, the unique non-version numbered Fairchild, in here. 3.0 is very... I might take out a 1... No, maybe a Ravana. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Anyway, they broke Eli. And they are accessing a whopping 5 cards here, which does not bode well for us at all. Maybe. Oof. So, the top 4 cards are not agendas. And we're now in a deadly race against them. And we are also in a great position because it means we can start forcing them to go ahead and run this server all the time. So we are actually going to go ahead and oh, well, if we do install, yeah. So sure enough, here is our econ / bait. They pretty much have to run this because they know the top 4 is not anything. And that could be the winning agenda. Where do we put you? We just... We have to make R&D not appealing. So we'll install that there. And we're also going to go ahead and trigger one more install so we can get one extra little doodly. And we're going to pick up a credit. And we are still underneath that 10 value. Now, Architect is maybe our only non-bio red ice in this deck. Yes, yes. But it has such value that it's alright. In this particular matchup right now, it's like 3 creds, but one of those is just, it needs to boost up to get to Fairchild anyway. So it changes for this deck. I think maybe throw out a Ravana for an actual Fairchild. We can check what the stats on it are. Good old Fairchild itself. I mean, I know it's going to be a beefy res cost, but we'll see. Anyway, so Dinosaurus is still counting down. They are drawing up for something instead of likely looking for a Sentry Breaker or Memory. Fairchild itself is a 9 to res, so that's a 5 to res with the bonus. And it's a big, scary piece of ice we probably want to throw out. Alright, this is a good play. This is what they expect. And I don't blame them for this. It's a good play. It's not res this because we don't really need to stop them. And that means we can turn on our free thing on that server. There's going to be a credit and a token to break. Although first piece of IC encounter. So that's actually the code gate. So they already did their code gate doodly. So we are going to go ahead and get to trigger that. Wish this was a little less finicky. But we did get Ravana up for free. There's an argument for should we have resed Ichi instead. And I think that's a pretty good one. Surprised they wanted to trash Jackson. They did run, so we're still not getting our... And then they are running that in case we got cheeky. And let's go ahead and flip on our Adonis and start our life. We did pull into a biotic, which is good. We want to pull some new things. I should have been keeping... Alright, so we probably want to credit... Thank God, do we install an R&D? Yeah, because then it's the first... Yep. Was that a little hasty? Yes, but there's money they need to get. R&D is gross. I really like this, how this ID lets you build big old glaciers. This is my first time, but still, this ability is fantastic. And I don't know how everyone feels about Eli 2.0, but I'm kind of excited about it. That bigger res cost is not a big issue in this identity. It looks like we are going through a turn where we're going to get our Subliminal back. Which means we could... Oh, they are going for Archives. So at this point, we got to pop our buddy. We're going to shuffle that in. We don't want to shuffle on our Subliminal. Probably hedge. And hedge, we're a bit low on money. That was good. They forced my Jackson out. And they did run, so that was a lot of value to that turn because now we can't grab our Subliminal. Alright, so turn starts. Adonis pays off. Do we want to score this out? Yeah, because we can make that same value. Turn again. I think we have to get this out. Let's see what this does. We'll go ahead and throw this out. They have no way to stuff us. So folks know where we're firing that. And then we do have one more. It's going to be a credit because we still want HQ to look somewhat appealing. Because if HQ has at least some appeal to it, you know, it's a run. I love for them to run through things so we can get to flip things on. Really want to flip on that extra Eli. Because otherwise it's going to cost 7 to turn on, and I'm not super into that. Actually, we really have to hope they don't run R&D. Because right now, if they run R&D, it would cost a straight 7 to res. So Eli's up there. Really want them to res something else this turn, or not run this turn. If they run somewhere else and we can flip on our Eli, that'd be great. So my wish list is no runs or they run HQ. But we'll see what they think over. They have enough stuff that drilling into R&D is probably pretty appealing. But at this point, their math is starting to get a little foggy because they know this is 1 credit and a token. This is 6 credits, and you know, another Fairchild is going to be 3. So they at least know they're getting some proposition on this that they'll be able to boost for Fairchild. But this must be a little scary for them. I think they really are going to want to fish for memory so they can get whatever killer they're running. Which just gives us time to evaluate our life and figure out what we're doing with ourselves. There's a good argument for installing an Adonis here so they can at least, you know, run it. Because we're at the point where if I try to sneak out an agenda, they're not going to like it. We do have one more Vitruvius and one more beta test unaccounted for. I think the rest of them are GFIs, unfortunately. And much like everyone else, we are running the GFIs for the sake of density, not so much for the fact that we're going to score them. So yeah, we are in the race for those last 3 2s. And we don't have any resources to score them out real fast. Test run is going to grab Fem, which is rough. A lot of things I can target, get a lot of value out of. Good call. A good call. So now that's just a 2 credit tax if I flip that on. We just have to make this somewhat. Okay, so we are just going to go ahead and flip on Ichi for 1. What they should have done, they should have boosted Gordian there, because it would have... So it was a little tiny bit of a misplay, not a huge one. But actually, if they don't win, this is looking pretty well, because they got a refreshed lady pretty soon. And we can't see them break it here because of the number of clicks they have. But we are also right in territory of them just finding a goodie and winning. So I think this may be the end for us, gents. Ladies and gentlemen. And there we go. That's a GG, my friendo. Very tight race. So, how could we have played a little differently? Well, the major mistakes. Did we overinvest in R&D? Maybe. No, I mean, we had to keep them out. They presented that R&D threat pretty early. One thing that I really need to learn with this deck is the order you place down your ice is incredibly important. You really want... I can understand why you want Ravana there. It's a cheap one to trigger the rest. Yeah, definitely my favorite part of this is how you can leverage Jeeves into a fast advanced tool. And I know that's his big thing, but you know, a lot of people are just like, oh, you can do Google never advanced things with him. But you get a lot of flexibility with what you can do with him. If we ever had to deal with the GFI, if we have it on the table, we and at best 1, 2, 3. We can, yeah, actually, if we had shipment, it was a pleasure. Yeah, if we have a GFI on the table, naturally with Jeeves, we can get 4 advancements down. So if you had Subliminal and Sansan, Subliminal and Sansan really turns things on. What were Jeeves used on? Our other Jeeves got trashed, which was an extremely good play from our opponent here. Because otherwise, we were out of shipments. We were out of tools, so that's... Yeah, they actually gave us a bit of a problem there at the very end. Because I don't think we're running any other recursion tools. No. Of course... I always recommend, you know, grabbing a deck, playing with it, and then you can start seasoning it and flavoring it and see how you like it. So what else could we have done? Playing around Kit is difficult. Kit's opening runs, there's a couple credits lost, but Magnum was a lot. Fem... Oh, I didn't even notice Magnum was trash in order to get Fem in there. Should really keep that in mind. That was a very ballsy last play. It wasn't that ballsy. They have 3 accesses. There's 12 there. Pretty sure my hand was empty. Very good play from our opponent. Hopefully pretty good play from us. And hopefully you enjoyed our very first episode of Jank Job. If there are any particular decks you'd like to see me play, go ahead and leave it in the comments. And, you know, I'll pretty much play whatever nonsense you throw at me. Just know if you give me something real bad, you're going to get that quality of a viewing experience. Anyway. Hope you folks really enjoyed this first episode. I'll talk to you later, and I hope the jank flows through all of you.